About 66 million years ago, the Earth was a different world. It was a green paradise dominated by reptiles. For about 180 million years, an incredible group of creatures, called dinosaurs, dominated every corner of the planet, from plains to forests, mountains to deserts. With their unrivaled, founded the empire. They were the ultimate creation of nature, unparalleled in size diversity, in majesty of power, and in adaptability. Some of them were as huge as mountains, some as small as birds. Some were fierce hunters, some were peaceful herbivores. It seemed that this reign of theirs, it will last forever. But any earthly empire is insignificant compared to the vastness of the universe. That day, when the pulse of life on Earth was at its most loudest, a silent killer was coming to the body from the infinite void of space. A hole bigger than Mount Everest, about 10 to 15 kilometers wide. The asteroid was hurtling towards Earth at more than 20 kilometers per second. As it entered the Earth's atmosphere, it turned into a blazing fireball. Its brightness was 1,000 times brighter than the sun. That afternoon, the last dinosaur to walk the Earth might have taken to the sky, looked up and saw a new sunrise. But it was not a sunrise. It was a cosmic death sentence. Within moments, the asteroid crashed near the Yucatan Peninsula in present-day Mexico. The Earth shook with an explosion more powerful than the combined power of 1 billion nuclear bombs. The entire world. In an instant, millions of years of evolution, nature's finest creations, suffered a cosmic accident and began their journey of annoyance. How did these incredible creatures come about? What fateful event or evolutionary chance made them the sole masters of the world? And what happened on that fateful day and what followed brought their unruly empire to the ground? From the first heartbeats of life to the rise of the dinosaurs and their tragic fall, we will explore that epic journey in today's episode. According to scientists, the journey of life it happened about 4 billion years ago in the depths of the ocean. For billions of years, life was microscopic. But about 540 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, an incredible explosion of life occurred, which filled the oceans with a variety of animals. Gradually, plants and then animals moved to the land. Amphibians were the first vertebrates to live on land, but they had to depend on water for reproduction. This dependence was freed by a breakthrough discovery in evolution: the amniotic egg or amniotic egg. The hard shell of this egg protected the embryo from the dry environment, which helped the reptiles to spread into the dry regions of the Earth's interior and lead a truly terrestrial life. From among these reptiles, the Cynoperians, or mammal-like. They were not the predecessors of dinosaurs. Rather, they were distant ancestors of present-day mammals. The world was then under their control. But about 252 million years ago, the most terrible catastrophe in the history of life occurred: the Permian-Triassic extinction or mass extinction. The massive volcanic eruptions that have been taking place in what is now Siberia for millions of years, known as the Siberian traps, have released billions of tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This has led to a dramatic increase in global temperatures. The oceans have become oxygen depleted and the devastating acid rain destroyed the plant world. This cataclysm wiped out about 96% of the world's marine life and 70% of terrestrial vertebrate species. This mass extinction left the Earth almost lifeless. It dominated the cynipes that had been around for millions of years. It nearly wiped out the species that had ruled the Earth for centuries. But in nature, in the ruins of every great catastrophe, new opportunities arise. This extinction so upended the Earth's ecosystem that it opened up a new race for evolution: gives. To fill the void that was created, a new competing group emerged. This group was the archosaurs, or ruling reptiles. And from these archosaurs, the most influential creatures in the history of the Earth were to be born: the dinosaurs. The mass extinction was the final event that set the stage for the rise of the dinosaurs. after the mass extinction, the Earth was a ghostly world, a shadow world. The planet that had once teemed with life was then Europe. This new era, the Triassic period, began amidst extreme adversity. The supercontinent Pangaea was still intact, the vast interior of which was a hot and dry desert. Life had to start a new struggle to survive in this harsh world. It was in this struggle that the archosaurs, or ruling reptiles, became dominant. The evolutionary tree of archosaurs split into two main branches, which they can be distinguished by the structure of their ankle bones. One branch was the pseudosuchia, or the crocodile-line archosaurs. The other branch was the ornithoidea, or bird-line archosaurs, from which later pterosaurs and dinosaurs arose. Ornithoidea were the underdogs during the Cretaceous period. In the ecosystem of that time, the only exception was the pseudosuchians, like Postosuchus, about 20 feet long like fierce predators, armored like ichthyosaurs, like herbivores, and crocodile-like phytosaurs. Aquatic predators were the major players of the era. Under their shadow about 230 million years ago, the real dinosaurs appeared. So how did dinosaurs rise from these infamous beginnings to become the rulers of the world? The answer lies in some revolutionary adaptations hidden in their bodies, which gave them a special toolkit. First and most important was their hip and leg structure. Dinosaurs had a hole or perforated acetabulum in their hip bone. This allowed their femur or thigh bone to be positioned upright directly under the body. This upright or erect stance was a groundbreaking innovation. It was similar to their pseudosuchians. They were nature's marathon runners. Secondly, their respiratory system was probably incredibly efficient. Based on the fossil evidence and their close relationship to birds, scientists believe dinosaurs had air sacs connected to their lungs. This system ensured a one-way flow of air through the lungs, which helped them take in more oxygen with each breath. In the relatively low oxygen environment of the Triassic period, this was a huge advantage for survival. Thirdly, their metabolism. Although this is debated, were they cold-blooded like today's animals or warm-blooded like birds or mammals? Most scientists now think that they were probably somewhere in between, that is. They were mesothermic. Their rapid bone growth rate and predator-prey ratio suggest they lived a much more active life than they do today. These physical advantages allowed the first dinosaurs, such as the meter-long Eoraptor and the slightly larger Herrerasaurus, to emerge in the Triassic. The struggle to survive in the harsh world of the era began. They were fast, agile, and opportunistic, which gave them a distinct strategic advantage over their larger and slower competitors. But fate once again ruled in favor of the dinosaurs. About 201 million years ago, at the end of the Cretaceous period, a mass extinction event occurred known as the Cretaceous-Jurassic extinction. It was probably caused by the eruption of a large volcanic region called the Central Atlantic Magnetic Province. The huge amounts of carbon dioxide released from this eruption drastically changed the climate and made the oceans more acidic. This catastrophe mysteriously wiped out the main competition of dinosaurs like the Suisians. But the dinosaurs miraculously survived. Now you may ask why they survived? Scientists say their small size, efficient respiratory system, and high metabolism helped them adapt quickly to this changing environment. But whatever the cause, the result was clear. This second extinction was a royal gift from nature to the dinosaurs. All obstacles in their way were removed. The world was open to them. To fill the ecological void that had been created, dinosaurs began to evolve with incredible diversity during the later Jurassic period and established themselves as the undisputed rulers of the Earth. The golden age of dinosaurs began. For the next 140 million years, during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, dinosaurs built an empire that no other animal group in the history of the Earth could. It was an epic feat of size, power, and the ultimate achievement of evolution. The supercontinent Pangaea, formed during the Jurassic period, began to break up, creating new seas between the continents. As a result, the Earth's climate changed dramatically. Instead of dry deserts, the Earth became warmer, humid, and greener. Cycad, conifer, and ginkgo forests grew over vast areas. This endless food paradise was born, the largest land animals ever in the history of the world. These herbivorous giants were a living world of engineering. Their huge size was their main defense against predators. Brachiosaurus was about the height of a 4-story building. Its giraffe-like structure, it helped it to eat leaves from tall trees. Animals like Diplodocus and Apatosaurus were incredibly tall. Their long necks were used to balance them with their even longer whip-like tails, which were probably used to scare away predators. To maintain their enormous size, the body had incredible adaptations. For example, like birds, their necks were filled with air sacs, which kept their massive skeletons relatively light yet strong. These air sacs ensured a one-way flow of air through their lungs, which allowed them to breathe huge air. They provided the body with oxygen. Even simple tasks like walking required enormous energy. They were also living food processing machines. They swallowed leaves without chewing them, tearing them with their teeth, and used gastrolids or stomach stones to digest them in their large intestines. They crushed the plants where the microbes digested them. Meanwhile, it was not possible for such a large animal to lay eggs for a long time. Fossil sites such as the Auca Mahueb in Argentina show that they built nests together in large colonies, digging them into the ground and then laying them in the ground, covered with. Much like today's sea turtles. These herbivorous giants were hunted by fearsome predators like the Allosaurus during the Jurassic period. It was about 30 feet long, armed with sharp teeth and powerful claws with 3 fingers. The Morrison Formation of North America is famous for its evidence from the fossil record shows that Allosaurus was the most common large predator of the period, and that they often hunted large animals such as snakes in groups. There was also Ceratosaurus, which had a horn on its nose, and larger predators such as Torvosaurus. The diversity of dinosaurs in the Cretaceous period, their numbers reached their peak. At this time, a revolutionary change occurred on Earth, the emergence of flowering plants, or angiosperms. The birth of flowers added color to the Earth's landscape and created new nutritious food sources like fruits and seeds. This Cretaceous terrestrial revelation bees, it influenced the evolution of new insects like ants and butterflies and birds, and also caused an explosion of new species among the dinosaurs. During this period, we see our most familiar and interesting dinosaurs, such as the Tyrannosaurus rex or Tyrannosaurus. It was the unrivaled in its ecosystem top predator. Its skull was large and powerful. Because of its wide back, it could use binocular vision, which is very useful for measuring the distance to prey. It had about 7 sharp teeth as thick as bananas, with which it could bite about 8,000 pounds, which was enough to crush the bones of any animal. Its incredible sense of smell allowed it to find prey or carcasses from afar. Its 2 small hands are the subject of a long debate. However, they were probably used to grip prey closely or to keep balance when rising from the ground. So everyone, in today's video, you will learn many more stories that you already know, and the second part of it will be uploaded very soon. Until then, stay healthy, stay well, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.